Good evening, everybody. I am Shelly B, a conservative Black sister surviving in a hot mess world. And a hot mess it is indeed. And tonight's hot mess is the massive layoffs going on across the board. Every industry, I don't care if it's fast food, corporate, everything. Everybody's getting laid off. Thousands of people everywhere. These corporations are just laying off, laying off, laying off, laying off, laying off. And I came across a video of people sharing their stories of being laid off. But before we unpack this, please, please like, share, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, hit the notification buttons, wherever you have to do to make this channel move. I appreciate everybody that watches the videos, but can you please subscribe to the channel? Please, I will really appreciate that very deeply and with my whole heart and very sincerely. Okay, so now this people blame Donald Trump for everything, and they blame him for the economy, even though he inherited much of the issues that we see going on here. And we just have to say, Democrats caused much of it. They've been in power for decades, and a lot of these problems are theirs. Now, that being said, I really believe that the real reason that we're seeing these massive layoffs is because, thanks to COVID, corporations figured out that they can work with no workers in the office, less people, smaller teams, and everything has been fine. And then with the development of AI moving so fast, they're easily just taking over whole industries for cheaper, much more efficiently and faster, and without all of these useless humans. I mean, like I keep telling you, they predicted this a long time ago. The World Economic Forum, and all those globalist, organizations, had predicted that a time will come where technology will supersede human labor and there will be too many useless humans. And what are we going to do with these people? And it's really starting to get scary because a lot of people are out here and they are not working. All these people that thought they were the shit with these degrees and everything like that, they're not working either. A lot of these kids are coming out of school after spending all this money and getting in debt and cannot even find a decent job. And it's not just in America, it's all over the world. You can go look at China and they're complaining about the same thing too. The technology is eliminating human labor. And it's very, very scary. So let's unpack this and let's hear what some of these people have to say, because it's a problem. It's a problem. And a lot of these people are young people, but it's people of all ages, all walks of life. It doesn't matter if you're like a low-level worker, a fast food worker, a high level, management positions, supervisors and stuff. Everybody's getting laid off because robots and AI does your job better and faster. And people need to really figure out what they are going to do, because people are being in denial about this. And I feel like a lot of the people in these videos were in denial about it too, because they seem so shocked. And sorry y'all, they seem so shocked by what's happening to them, but this has been predicted for decades that we will reach a time like this. So I don't understand why people put so much faith in a job. I'm a freelance worker, and I'm here to tell y'all, I'm a person that I'm always looking for a job. I'm always looking for a job. I do one project, it ends, and then I have to find another job. So I'm usually not as distraught as a lot of these people when a job ends, or I lose a job, or a show gets canceled, or whatever the case may be, because you're almost expecting the day when the job is going to end. I've worked like this for 30 years, and I have a little bit of insight and help for people that, trying to cope with being out of work. Okay. So let's just listen to some of these, unpack some of this. And I want to try to get through this relatively fast because I myself did work today. Thank God. After not working for months, after going through all kinds of strikes. I mean, people in our industry is not for the faint of heart. For people that don't know, I work in the film industry. I'm a hair stylist, cosmetologist by trade, and I work as a hairstylist, supervisor, key department head, all kinds of positions in the hair film industry. And I'm a person that is always in and out of work. Okay, so there's a few little things that you could do to prepare yourself for these times. So let's just listen to these people real quick for a minute.
It didn't really hit me until now, because my coworkers started messaging me. I lost my appetite after that. I still haven't had a call with my manager yet, but my biggest takeaway is don't let your job work you. What's even more messed up is they laid me off right before rewards and bonus season. And also, they're deducting my severance pay from like 2 weeks or something. So I'm really not even getting that much severance. And yes, I work at a big tech company. You can probably guess where I got laid off from. Also, they laid me off at the beginning of my vacation as I took off. So I have my severance package, but I can't receive it until I return the laptop, the corporate card, that stuff. But how am I supposed to do that? And I lose access to any work-related information.
What does she mean? How she's supposed to do that? You better do it if you want to get your coins. But this just goes to show that people put too much faith in a job. And as a freelance worker, I'm here to tell you that working film, shows get canceled, for any reason. They could let you go and get somebody in your place. Like, our jobs are not etched in stone. You got to be the best. And even when you're the best, you still can be let go off of the type of jobs that I work. So the bottom line is that you just always have to be prepared for that. You always have in your mind that that is going to be the end goal. So you might get lucky and get on a job that lasts for years and years, but at some point it's going to end. You have to always have in your mind that it's going to end, and what are you going to do?
This week. And I'm not in New York. Corporate America really gives zero shits about you.
Now, you mean to tell me you have to get laid off to know that corporate America doesn't give a shit about you? No job gives a shit about you. You're there to do a job. And when they no longer need you to do that job, they're going to let you go. Some people have a long run. Some people have a short run. Your job is always going to let you go. Even when you get retirement age, eventually that job is going to end. And I feel like long gone are the days where people work and work and work on a job for 30 years. These companies, they don't want to pay for you. You know what I mean? They want to let you go and probably get some new person that they can start at the entry level, or some AI is going to take your job completely.
They worked me to the bones for a high value client and then just got rid of me. So, yeah.
And as freelance workers, you all know that we work ourselves to the bone for a client, and the job ends, and that's it. So I just feel like that's how I always work. I always work like that. We get hired for a job, and when the job is over, we all go our separate ways, and that's that. The job is over. So you have to always have in your mind that this job can end. What would I do if this job is over next week? What would I do, if this job is over next summer or whatever? You just always keep in your mind it's going to end, and save your money. And if it doesn't end, you should have a lot of money saved up. Always save your money. I always save all my money, and I take away from my savings to pay for the things I need. I pay myself first. Okay? Because I know that I might be out of work for 2 weeks or 2 years. Because with COVID, I've been in and out of work for the last 5 years, and we've had some long periods of time where we did not work, anywhere from like a couple of months to 8 months, a year. I remember one strike, maybe like 2010, we were out of work for a whole year. So you have to plan. Do not be attached to your job. It's a job. Unless you're an entrepreneur and working for yourself, and even then things can happen, do not rely on a job.
company-wide layoffs that were happening where WPP is trying to consolidate a lot of.
And these poor childs, they are hurt. They are in tears. They're in tears. And it's really sad because these are really young people and it's just nothing out there for them. There's nothing out there for them.
Their media agency silos. So like we knew that there was going to be layoffs happening and the client is under review. So yeah, I had a feeling my job was going to get cut, and unfortunately it did, and I just moved here to New York City.
Now that's messed up. She just moved there for a job and got laid off. And I do feel like these corporations are very shady and they could do better in warning you and stuff like that. But they don't care about you. So when you have a job, I don't care how much people pretend to like you. I don't care how much you like the job. I don't care what you think about your coworkers and it's a family. It's not. It's a job and nobody gives a damn about your ass except for you. Always keep that in your mind that these people are not your friends. And when the jig is up, and none of those people are going to come to your aid at all. And what are you going to do?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I expected it.
So I got laid off on Thursday. Today's Monday.
Now this girl, I can't even listen to, so we're going to skip because the way that she talks just was irritating. So I'm going to skip a little bit because there's a lot of people on here. The link is in the description. You can watch them. Some of them have some really good stories and advice and stuff like that. But we're just going to skip a little through this because it's, some of these stories are long and it's like, the way some of these young people talk is so annoying.
Not even working anymore for me to like save things like.
So yesterday I was laid off from my job, my very cushy, very nice trucking job. And that's all good. I got 2 interviews. I'm on my way to one right now. They're both better paying jobs.
So note what he's saying, no more 2 weeks notice. He said he's not. A lot of people are saying this, that they're not going to give their employers 2 weeks notice because when it comes time to fire you, there is no notice, And I do feel that the employers, if they're going to let you go, they should keep you for 2 weeks at least. They expect you to give them 2 weeks notice. I don't know why they do that to the employees. It's just very heartless, but that's what they do.
One of them is even closer to my house. But that's actually not what I want to talk about. Yesterday, while I was on that phone call, one of the drivers that was getting laid off, he said, "Hey guys, so you request a 2 weeks notice from us when we're going to leave. In fact, last year I did give you 2 weeks notice. I decided to leave. I found a better job and I put in my 2 weeks and you guys talked me out of it. You said, no, we're going to give you a raise, which you did. But I would be in a much better job right now. But you can't be bothered to give us a 2 weeks notice. Hey, you're about to lose your income. We have to give you, a multi-billion-dollar company, 2 weeks to find our replacement, but you can't be bothered to give us the same courtesy." The boss said, "This is not a decision leadership makes lightly." And the driver said, "That's not what I'm asking you." Then he said, "There's not much more I can tell you. I'm sorry things are the way they are." And that was that. Let this be a reminder that you can be as loyal as a dog to a company. And when they decide to let go of you for whatever reason, they're moving on. And there's nothing you can do about that.
Nothing.
And also, we're done giving 2 weeks notices. Courtesy is a two-way street. And if I can't expect that from you, don't expect it from me. Have a great one.
I got laid off today. And the entire time I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, this is all a part of God's plan. This is all a part of God's plan. Like, yeah, it's sad, but it's also like, I can't be sad if it's God's plan. Like, it's written already. This is just a part of God's plan. And I have to accept that. And I did accept it. I was just like, you know what? No tears. Like, I haven't cried because there's nothing to cry about. Like, this ain't the first time I've had to face something like this. But I think what's different between now and those other times is I'm equipped to deal with it, mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
And I would say I feel the same way about being, as far as being a freelance worker, and most freelance workers will say this, that you already in your mind are waiting for the day this job is going to end. And, she seems a little bit disingenuous, you can see as we watch her speak, but I feel like, if you always know that the job is going to end and you prepare yourself, instead of just thinking and growing roots and thinking that this job is going to last forever, just always save your money. And then at the end of the job, when it is over, say you worked there for 5 years, you should have a really good amount of money saved up. A lot of people ask me how I survived COVID, not taking the vaccine, and being a single mother was because I saved my money. I saved my money all them years, and I was able to really live off my savings for a very long time, and I wasn't forced to make choices that other people made, because they needed a job. Did it destroy my savings? Did it destroy my credit? Yes, it did. But I had it to live off of for quite some time. So think about that. And I don't think any situation would be as bad as COVID. So if you guys save your money and don't get comfortable in your job, it is a job. Somebody else is in control of it, and at any time they could let you go. Like in my industry, they can fire me at any time and hire one of their friends, whatever. In our contract, it states that they can hire and let you go at any time they want to. So always keep it in your mind that this job is not going to last forever. That way, mentally, you're prepared, and you're not going to be on TikTok crying and you're not thinking straight and feeling that your life is over and stuff like that. You got to be prepared.
My faith is built for it, tough babes. There's no breaking me down. And honestly, I like this energy. Like, I call it the sink or swim energy.
Now, this is where it's the bullshit part, because you can have all the faith you want. People say you can't be broken, but everybody is breakable. And sometimes you need to be broken down and built back up into something better. So I don't want you guys to think that you have to be this super strong person like she's saying, which I think is full of crap. And she wants to be an influencer, and I feel like it's very fake how she's presenting, and you'll see. But I just feel like you guys have to know that, yeah, it might be a hard time, and yeah, it might be a struggle, and it might be very stressful and very uncomfortable, but just know that it can't rain forever, and you will become stabilized. And if you have a good attitude, and if you have faith, and if you believe that this is a lesson, and you go through the lesson and you learn what you need to learn, I guarantee you're going to be on a higher elevation in the end. You know what I mean? So just know that whatever you go through is for a reason and a purpose, and usually it's to make you strong and elevate you spiritually and physically sometimes.
Like you're either going to sink and be sad, or you're going to swim and flourish. And I'm a swim and flourish type of girl. So
I don't want you guys to be delusional. Sometimes you're going to sink. You might lose everything. You might be homeless. You might not have food to eat. It might really get hard, but I want you to know that it is a method to this, and it's going to make you stronger. The pressure and surviving it and having faith and knowing that it's going to work itself out for the better for you, that is what I want you to focus on. This is delusional, and this is crazy for somebody to sit there and act like they're overjoyed to lose their job and not know what the future holds. Because for everybody, for some people, it might really be a struggle. Like, I almost got evicted twice during that time. But I have faith that it would work out in my favor, and I manifested positive thoughts around me. You understand? And I wasn't delusional to think that, that this struggle wasn't something that I could possibly have needed to go through. And I tell you, everything I went through, I would do it again, because the person that I am today is much stronger. I made some friends that I feel are very genuine, and I'm just happy for everything that I went through. And I am so much better off today. After all that work I lost, I am so much better off today. So don't hold on. Move forward, and I guarantee you're going to come out in a better position.
I like this energy because it always pulls out like this monster in me, like this hella driven, hella focused.
Well, honestly, if it's going to pull out the monster in you, you wouldn't be working for somebody in the first place. That's just how I feel. If you were all that, you wouldn't be working for anybody in the first place to get laid off. You would be an entrepreneur. You would be the boss. If it's all that and you're that big of a beast.
It's hella discipline. Like, I only see the finish line version of me, and I love it. I'm excited. I really am. I'm excited to see where this next step is going to take me. And I'm excited to share the process with you guys. Honestly, like, I share everything else with y'all, so might as well share this part too.
This is what I'm saying. This is the TikTok, influencer version of the real emotions, that when you lose your job and you don't know how you're going to pay for things, that there has to be a level of concern, worry, all of those things, fear, anxiety, all of those things. You're not going to be like, oh, I'm so happy. Oh my God, I might lose everything. I might not be able to pay my rent, but I'm so happy. Listen, it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a struggle, especially in this economy, because it may be a very long time before you find a job, or you might have to humble yourself and take a job that you really don't want to do, or you might have to get less money and do some job that you really hate to, or some people reinvent themselves and become entrepreneurs, come up with a good idea and pull themselves up. Some people get in teams with other people and they create businesses and ideas together and they pull themselves up. Be open-minded. Don't just keep thinking about a job. You know, sometimes you have to step out on faith and try something new.
The life update, I got laid off, but now I'm a full-time content creator, and that's my dream. So let's just,
unbeknownst to her, that now they have AI content creators, and a lot of you might not even notice that they're AI and they're not real. And it's horrifying, these AI content creators, because they look real. And this technology, I am a sci-fi girl, and I love technology and anime and things like that. This technology moves so fast. I feel by next year you wouldn't even be able to tell an AI from a human. So they don't need her. They're not going to need to pay her a dime to influence you all. There's so much AI out there that you guys see that you don't even know is influencing you. They don't need people like this anymore. This is what I said. Everybody needs to figure out what they are going to do. I actually thought content creators would survive the AI thing, but it's not going to, you know? And I say, if you want to be a content creator, you better get really in touch with your emotions and be real, because that's what's going to separate you from the AI, because the AI are replicas of us and they don't have the emotions that we have. So she has work to do, because I just feel that it's all disingenuous.
just fucking do it.
This week didn't start how I expected. I got laid off from my
Okay, you can watch her on your own time. Let me just skip a little bit because I want to get through this. Because I'm hungry. I work today and I want to eat some food. You know me, I always want to eat.
Yeah, I don't know.
More people crying.
And this time, it seems like it's actually the PMs and managers that are in danger. Microsoft is cutting around 6,000.
So now the bosses are getting cut because they don't need them either, because they can have AI to do their job too. It's a wrap for everybody. It's a wrap for everybody. What are we going to do with all these useless humans? What? And it's going to be just like Terminator and iRobot with a robot's rule. I saw a video of AI and they asked AI what they don't like about humans. And it was very fascinating, the things that the AI said. So it's scary, you know, and everybody better start doing their research and figuring out how they are going to fit into this new world and this new age that we're coming into, period.
Employees, and this is the biggest round of layoffs in the last 2 years. Apparently, they're claiming that these new job cuts are not related to performance, but this is pretty hard to believe, especially when they're hiring like crazy and performance review cycles have just been completed. Instead, these layoffs seem to target non-coders, aiming to increase the number of coders per project, which Microsoft internally calls its PM ratio. For example, Microsoft's security boss currently has 5.5 engineers for 1 PM, but his goal is to reach a ratio where it's 10 engineers to 1 PM. Overall, you can kind of guess what these cuts are for, and it's investments in AI. In 2012 to 2022, Microsoft grew its headcount by over 10%, and Google actually grew it by 14%. But since 2022, with the launch of ChatGPT and more AI, it stayed flat. It should be quite interesting to see how these other tech companies follow suit. And unfortunately,
they're going to do exactly the same thing. Everybody's going to do exactly the same
made
thing.
A recent announcement that they were doing a reduction in force of about 20% of its workforce. Its workforce is 109,000 people.
So more people are getting laid off. All these corporations are just laying off. It's horrifying how much these corporations are laying off, and just people, you know,
To like pull myself together.
distraught.
To process what I'm feeling. I was laid off from my job today. To process what I'm feeling.
I was laid off from my job today. I was I can't say
all of these people are so distraught because they got too comfortable in their job. I'm never comfortable in a job because I know that it could always end. Any day. Any day. So this is why they're sitting there crying and distraught, because they are thinking that they are etched in stone somewhere, and they're not.
that I was surprised because
There
we
you
had
go.
a
She was
few
surprised.
people laid off on yesterday, and I knew in my spirit that it wasn't over. I knew that they weren't done. I was the last person that they laid off. Like,
And the people that you see distraught like this are the ones that are not prepared. They probably didn't save their money, and they have different hardships that they have, mortgages and kids in college or whatever. So if you know you have all of these life expenses, then you should really be saving your money while you have the job. You can't be out here flossing, living your best life and doing, it's a job. It's going to end. Every job ends. People lose their jobs all the time. Companies lay off all the time, especially in this world, how it is today with the economy since COVID and with the AI and all of that. You guys have to be insane to not be saving your money. I mean, seriously. And to have investments. Now, trust me, I used up all my money, all my savings, all my investments, but I had it to survive off of when the emergency and the time came.
I'm not necessarily crying because, you know, I lost my job, but it's, you know, you build friendships, these people become family, and
the people on your job are not your family. They are colleagues, they are acquaintances, they are co-workers. These people do not give a damn about you. And when that job is over, you're going to see that nobody is going to save you but you. They're not your friends. It's a job. It's a job. So this is where you go wrong in, you know, being delusional about what a job is. You're there to work. You're there to be productive for somebody else, for somebody else's dream, for somebody else's, you know, business. You're going to give your intellectual property and all your work to them. It's a job. And then they pay you for the job. And if you see that all these people are getting laid off, you should know that it could be you. What am I going to do? Since COVID, everybody should know that their job is not secure. But yet here we are.
you know, it's normal, it's natural to worry about the unknown.
It's not it is not really normal and natural to worry if you have faith. Okay? Because when I was going through my shit, I had so many friends tell me, why don't you drive DoorDash? Because I don't feel like it. I'm not a DoorDasher. I'm a cosmetologist. I'm not driving DoorDash. I'm not going to work for Amazon. I'm not doing none of that. I sat there and I had faith in God that He had a plan for me. And what I did with that time is spend it with my child. Plant seeds. I created classes. I did a whole bunch of things of planting seeds, planting seeds, planting seeds, planting seeds. Now, years later, I'm starting to see things grow. And I don't worry. When people try to project their worries onto me, I don't allow them to. I tell them all the time, I don't have worldly worries because I'm high ranking spiritually. You know? And I know that if I'm not working, there's something else I'm supposed to be doing. And I tell everybody all the time, focus on what is going right in your life. She's going to manifest everything wrong to happen in her life because she's focusing on what is wrong, what's bad gonna happen, and oh, this, that. Don't focus on that. Focus on what is right in your life. Be grateful. Know that there's abundance, but maybe there might be some lessons you need to learn before you can receive it. Maybe there's some strength you need to, acquire before you receive it. Maybe there's some people you need to purge out your life before you receive it. So the more that you look at it as a lesson, and the more that you try to learn the lesson, and the faster you try to study and work on yourself, the faster you're going to be out of your situation. That I can guarantee you.
And my family's already in a way financially.
So there you go. What did I tell you? I said the reason why these people aren't here crying like this and they're so distraught is because they did not plan for their job to end. Okay? I don't care how much money I make, I'm broke. Because I just always think it's never enough, because the job could end. Even if you own your own business, something could happen to make it end. You could have a successful business and something crazy could happen to make it end. You just have to always think like that. And it's not thinking in a spirit of lack. You're being wise, and you're not living above your means. You're not being wasteful with your money. You're being very frugal with what you earn, and thinking about what you're going to do. If in my mind all the time is what I'm going to do if I'm not working. And then I tell everybody you have to have faith and believe that you don't need to suffer. I do not think for 1 second that I'm going to suffer. I don't, because I don't want to put that into universe. What you speak, you can speak it into power. I try my best to focus on what is going right. I try to focus on what I can do with what I have around me to create something. Humans are creators. That's what we do. We're in a constant state of creating things. Create. And the best creation you can create is you. The best thing you could do is work on you and try to better yourself. And I guarantee when you do that and you learn and you elevate, good things are going to happen to you. Great people are going to come around you. I have to say, I didn't have very many times when I really, really cried about anything. I feel like the most upset I ever was during that damn strike, because now I really felt like stuck. But I was upset, but I was glad in the end, because during that time I made some of the best creations, because I really felt like this is a wrap. And I still feel like this industry is a wrap. And I'm just trying to see what I can do to reinvent myself into something else, so I don't have to rely on this industry, because I know it's going to be a wrap forever. So always think like that when it comes to a job or anything that you do. Change happens all the time in life, and change is not a bad thing. It's just how you see it. If you think of every change in your life as something negative, and you don't see the lesson and you don't see the strength that you're getting from what you're going through, then it's going to always be a hardship, and you're going to always have hardships, and you're always going to be, in a state of anxiety and stuff like that.
Where my husband and I have been doing the best that we can to provide not only their needs, but, their wants. And God has made that possible. And I know that this has to be a God thing. Even if it's not a good thing right now, it has to be a God thing. But
she's already thinking that it's a bad thing that she's losing this job. And it really could be a good thing, because by getting rid of this job, maybe her and her husband will think of a business. Maybe they'll go out there and find better jobs or whatever. Life is what you make it. And that's what I had to learn. If you think every obstacle in your life is negative, you're going to be weak. You have to go through things in life to get the strength you need. How is God going to elevate you to a position of power or a position of leadership and you weak and you fall apart at the littlest thing? A job make you fall apart. A job make you give up all your rights. A job will make you take an experimental medical product to keep a job. I'm telling you, you have to go through things to have the strength you need to be in the position that you dream. She's not ready. But maybe after this struggle, she'll have the strength she needs to elevate her frequency and get in that position.
I have nothing else lined up. I have no other prospects.
Now, see, this is the talk that's going to get you stuck because she's saying what she doesn't have. Look at what you do have. Look at around you right now in your life and what you have and the people that are there, the abundance that you do have. Stop focusing on what is wrong and focus on what is right and build from that. Because if you keep saying, I don't have this and I don't have that and I don't have this and I had it, you're not going to have it. I wake up every day in a state of gratitude for everything around me. Oh, I'm thankful for these birds. Oh my God, it's so lovely to wake up and hear birds and not traffic. Oh, wow. I have air conditioning. Oh, wow. I don't have as much money as I would like to have, but I have food. I'm going to go make me some breakfast. It's like you have to stay in the moment. She's saying that she doesn't have any prospects, but she doesn't know that. She hasn't put in any work yet. She's sitting on the bed crying on TikTok. She might be able to find the prospects if she is ready to see the lesson and go through the education and go through the hardship to elevate her frequency.
Before yesterday, I wasn't expecting to lose my job. I was making plans for this year concerning.
Now listen what she said. She said that she was the last one to be laid off. So if you've seen all your other colleagues and coworkers get laid off, why would you think it would not happen to you?
A job in my life, and I wasn't expecting to lose my job before yesterday. And I'm like, Lord, I know if my name came up that you have a plan for me and my family.
Now she's getting on track.
I don't know what that plan is. But
all I can tell you is from my experiences that God's plan is always going to be better than what you could think of. Because when I was going through my struggle, all I wanted to do was pay my rent. I hated living in New York and I wanted to get out of it. I never thought that I would because I couldn't afford it. Not only did I get out of New York, I moved to another state, live in a beautiful place, beautiful schools for my child. I kept my car, everything got paid. I didn't lose out on anything. We ate, we even got fat over COVID. We ate so good that we had to lose weight. And it worked out better than I could ever imagine. So you have to have faith and trust the process. Any hardship you any hardship that you go through is for a lesson. It's for a lesson, and it's to make you stronger so that you can be prepared for whatever gift God has for you, or whatever leadership that God wants to put you in, or if God wants you to be a steward of money. You might lose all your money so that you learn how to better manage your money. You have to see the lesson and the good in everything you go through.
I know my requirement is to stand. Even though I don't know the answers, I don't know what's going to happen. I have to stand. Stand on the word of God. Stand on Romans 8:28. Stand on Jeremiah 29:11. Stand on Philippians 4:13.
So basically, these scriptures that she's saying are basically saying that, which I had grown to become like this, that you are going to be content whether you have a lot of money or whether you don't. You're going to be content whether you're rich or whether you're poor and you want for things. You have to learn to find the joy in your life that's not centered around material things. And then that way, no one can kill your joy. A job is not going to take away from the things that you enjoy in your life. So really think about that. Because for me, when I'm not working, I'm like, well, great. I can do the things I like to do. Like get up, go ride my bike and spend time with my son and go to the parks, go to the beach. What? And most of the things I just named are free.
Also stand on Philippians 4:12. And I have to know that God is still worthy to be praised, even in trouble.
But this is the thing. She thinks she's in trouble, but she's being tested. She's being given strength. If you get through it, you're going to have spiritual power. If you have enemies, when you get through it, you have dominion over them. You're going to be exalted above them, where you could look at them and be like, how y'all doing down there? Your enemies, you know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you, I've been through it. And she's crying so much because really deep down inside, she don't believe nothing that she's saying. Because before I get crying like that, I'm angry about it. You know, I want justice for everything. And victory. And victory is the Lord's. So if you just do the work and be grateful and know the power that is in you, the Spirit of God that is in you, it's a lesson. Everything you go through that's difficult, just know it's giving you spiritual power. It's elevating your frequency. When you succeed, and you will, when you succeed, you will be at a higher elevation. So it's like you almost want to welcome the challenges, because the more challenges that you have, the more frequency, the more higher your vibration is going to be, and the better people you're going to draw to you, and the more divine protection and different things you're going to have, because God has a job to do. The more that you go through, the more power you're getting to, whether it's to help humanity, do God's will, or help others, whatever, you know. And I hope that this girl gets there. She seems like she, you know, kind of believes it, but she doesn't really believe it. She doesn't really, you know, because I feel like if she really believed in what those scriptures say and what she's saying, she would know that a test is coming and that she has the strength to do it. You know, so hopefully, I hope that she, you know, she makes it through.
This is just a new way of trusting him, because I don't have a job for the provisions. That's not to say I'm not going to look for something.
Let me tell you, you know how much free food and services and stuff I found? Get yourself together, stop crying, and use your power. Get out there and do the work. Talk to a lot of people. Do the research. Figure out how you can get things. You're not even working. I didn't have nothing else better to do than apply for programs. I got $25,000 to pay my landlord my back arrears. Because I liked my landlord. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have gave it to him, and I would have kept on going and not give them nothing. But they were lovely people, and I wanted them to get their money back. And I applied for these grants. You're not working. You're not doing nothing. You're sitting there crying in the bed, talking on TikTok.
But I'm putting my trust in God because this is out of my hands.
You have to put trust in yourself too, because I don't intend on suffering. I wasn't created to suffer, and I don't want to suffer, and I'm not going to suffer. That's what I tell myself. My friends always would say, wow, how are you still working during COVID, not having a vaccine? Because I don't anticipate not working. I got a child to take care of. That doesn't cross my damn mind that I'm going to suffer. Please.
And I don't know what our future is going to look like. I don't know. But what I am sure of is that God won't see us hungry, homeless.
God might see you hungry. You might be homeless. You might be cold. You might lack a lot of things. But just know that if the Creator didn't think you could endure it, you wouldn't go through it. Like they say, God won't give you more than you could bear. So if you're in that situation, you're strong enough to survive it. You might be hungry because you might need to know what it feels like to be hungry. So you can have empathy for those that are hungry. Maybe you need to be humbled. I don't care what is happening. It's a reason and a purpose why you are experiencing that. And you have to figure out what the lesson is for you and how it's going to better you and elevate your frequency. I don't care how horrific it is.
Or go without. So y'all just pray for me.
Listen, to go without, to me, all of the hardships that I had and all of the monies that I lost and going without and not having food sometimes and not being able to get certain things for my child, it humbled me. It humbled me. And now I save my money even better than before. And I think I'm a better steward of money. And if I was given money to be a steward of, I am more humble and more respectful of money from what I went through. So that's why I say anything you go through, it's a lesson. It's a lesson. And you have to stop thinking that, you know, a little bit of discomfort is going to kill you. It made me stronger. I've never felt better in my life, and I would do it again 100 times to be the person I am today. All of the shit that I went through. And even my child even agrees. It made both of us stronger.
My family. And I'll keep y'all posted.
So y'all, I just got laid off today.
So it's more layoff stories, but I'm just trying to show you the most compelling ones of the people that really I feel like that girl, it really was disturbing to me that she feels that way. Because I can't even read my own handwriting. Let me see. Let me skip through this. I can't even.
Amazing company.
Let's see what this girl is.
Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you're thinking.
Look at these
I'm
people.
here for that, for sure.
Some of them I see why they got laid
today.
off.
After 10 years at the most amazing company, I didn't think it would happen, but like I kind of thought it would happen at some point. I got the email. Your role has been impacted. And today, let me tell you, has been a whirlwind of emotion. And I think that a lot of people, when they get laid off, they're sad, they're angry, you know, it is what it is. To me, this is just another sign that God has always had my back and that there are more blessings coming. And I wasn't going to post this because like there's a lot of haters out there I need to put my evil eye on. But like, I'm just so thankful. So if I've ever worked with you or this comes across your page and you were my client at one point, thank you. Drop in the comments a memory of working with me. And if you know of anyone that's hiring, holler at your girl. I think I'm going to document this journey.
Everybody wants to document their lost journey instead of just literally getting off this and really doing some work. This is pretty interesting.
Thank you. We may be able to integrate you back into your previous role, but this will be contingent on business conditions, you know, stuff like that. So,
And it's so shady how these companies fire you because they'll put like a whole group of people together on a Zoom and fire them all together on the Zoom. So this lady, they're firing her over the phone or something like that.
All right.
I'm sorry, Angela.
What about the bereavement time?
You're getting paid on that.
Okay.
That is going to be taken care of already. So.
Okay.
She lost her grandmother right before this.
Is there anything else that I need to do on my end then?
Are you considering the sales position or
I have to talk with
Cutler?
my husband. Cutler. I'd have to talk with my husband.
So it seems like they firing her from one position and are offering her a sales position, which is probably less money or something. So that's why she's so upset, because if they were offering her another job for the same money, I guess she would feel okay, but she's upset. So it must be less money.
So I can give you up until the end of today to consider. So if you want to touch base with me by 5:30.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Okay. Sorry, Angela. I'll be here for you.
She'll be there for her until 5:30.
Wow. All right, y'all. Hold on. Oh, I look like a hot mess. Hold on. Okay, just so I look a little more composed. So, wow, my glasses are starting to fog up because I was crying. My job just laid me off. I guess what's crazy about this is I just came from bereavement leave. My grandmother had passed away last week. Oh, gosh. Okay. And it was a little rough, but, we got through it. She lived a great life. And then I come back here Monday morning for work, and I get a sudden meeting from my boss, not expecting this at all. And they tell me that
I feel like these companies are so heartless, and I do feel like they should give these workers, they can afford to do it. Give them their little 2 weeks notice and let them go. You know what I mean? Just like they expect you to give them 2 weeks notice. Just so, some people might be able to find a job in 2 weeks. It's just shady how they are.
due to the recent economic downturns, they're laying me off. In all fairness, I was one of the higher paid HR people on our TA team. And yeah, that's what they chose to do.
She was making too much money.
So now I got to figure out something else. I'm not making this video to retaliate because you know what?
I thank God for whatever opportunity is coming next.
That's how you have to look at it.
Everything's going to work out.
Exactly.
And I'm grateful for the time that I had at this past employer, now past. I'm grateful for a lot of the things I got to learn, a lot of the things I got to do.
And see, I like this woman's attitude because she's not looking at it from a state of lack. She's looking at it as the lesson learned. You understand? She looking at the job and looking at everything that's going right. And I like the way she's thinking.
And I know now that the Lord is working on my behalf. And yeah, as much as it kind of sucks, I'm excited. So for those of you who have gone through this or are presently going through this, I'm here to support you, and to God be the glory, whatever happens. I'll keep you posted on this journey.
UPS is looking to slash about 20,000 jobs and close dozens of facilities. It's cutting down on the number of Amazon packages it delivers. The company plans to make the job cuts this year. UPS anticipates closing 73 buildings by the end of June and may close even more facilities later. In January,
And people want to blame Donald Trump for everything that goes wrong on Earth, but it doesn't have anything to do with that. They just have more robotics. Somebody was telling me that Amazon has a fully automated robotic factory now, not hardly any humans working it. So the AI is taking over. We are in the robotic AI age, which artificial intelligence. It is what it is. And the technology is moving so fast. These companies don't want to pay us. The robots and AI work so much faster and efficiently, and they don't have to have medical benefits for them and all this and that. I mean, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
UPS announced a deal with Amazon, its biggest customer, to lower its delivery volume by more than 50% by the second half of next year.
So there you have it, folks. So like I said, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Because everybody's going to lose their jobs. And if you're a sci-fi girl like me, I'm telling you, it's not going to be any jobs. Most of the people will be on universal income, like Elon Musk said. They've been projected this. Everybody's going to be on welfare or some kind of assistance from the government, or you'll work for the government. You'll be forced to work for the government. And that's it. If they need you. I just don't see in the future really what they'll need humans for. And I keep telling you, it's just going to be a more primitive way of living. It's going to go backwards. It's going to be like Hunger Games where you're going to fight for food and food rations and universal income and stuff like that. And there'll be very few jobs. Very few jobs. And it's very scary. And people have to really sit there and think about how they're going to reinvent themselves for this new age that's coming. I mean, I honestly don't know what people would do, because if they have, they don't need actors. They have AI actors, AI influencers and stuff like that. They were saying in China, some of the top songs that were out are AI generated. So it's like, it is what it is. It is what it is. And I feel like in the future, what is going to make a human more special than AI is like touch services. Like they still haven't mastered like robots to do touch things like massages and cutting hair. They have stuff that can do it, but it's still not mastered. So I don't know what everybody's going to do. I wish I had something, more powerful to say, but I don't. And somebody's ringing my doorbell. Hold on a second. Shiloh. I'm going to have to let y'all go because I have to go and answer the door. So I love y'all. I wish you the best. Reinvent, circumvent, do the research that you need to do. And I hope that, you know, the best for everybody out here. And, you know, we're going to keep unpacking this because, you know, I'm going to do the research and we're all going to try to figure out how we're going to make it. But I really do believe it's going to come down to the emotions and the heart and the spirit and the soul of humans, because that's all we have left that AI can't, you know, copy. So with that being said, I'm Shelly B. Thanks for watching me. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.